quitting at Burger King and doing it in a spectacular fashion. He's just sitting naked in the stainless steel 3-basin sink, treating it like a hot tub. So I'm just going to do rapid fire overlays of Burger King slogans like "Have it your way" or "It takes 2 hands to handle a Whopper." And of course, I'd finish with, if this was Wendy's, I'd ask, "Where's the beef?" But I think I already know.
You could always add the lean, mean fighting machine because he said he was, what did he say when they asked him why he was an Army trainee? I got a lot of stress. My doctor said it's from, I got a slight weight problem. They're like, nah. And he's like, yeah, my doctor says it's from stress and eating a lot of hamburgers.
What's going on, Kevin? Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider and sat down beside her and said, "Hey, what's in the bowl?" Oh. Hey, Kristen, how are you? Oh, Jack and Jill went up the hill.
Oh, God.
To fetch a pail of water.
Jack had $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You know what? Those were so big there for a little while. And then he just faded out of the background.
What's going on, Marie Clayton, Gio, Linda? No, we just got on. Did not get notified late. What's going on, Kiwi? Good to see you.
John was late.
That's funny.
John was late. I just need that to be known. Yeah. It was John. We had to call him. We'd be like,
the irony is my people that are here watching know I'm late. I'm late every week to everything I do.
Everything you do.
It's incredible that 9 times out of 10 I'm actually on time for this. Because it's not in my nature
to be on time.
Sure, it's crooked.
It looks nice.
It looks nice. All right.
Your head's crooked.
What's going on, Joseph Tricoli? Hello, Stacy.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Well, we're running a little late, so we might as well just jump right in.
Yep.
Welcome to the ThreeView Mirror. We get together every week. This is our podcast. This is our show. This is a time when 3 friends get together and talk about 3 different topics of pop culture. Starting back to the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, a Gen X era pop culture show. And every week, one of us takes on the duties of being the host, and we come prepared with 3 of those topics and a secret game, a secret message, a secret connection. Something ties those 3 things together. And it's our job as co-hosts and audience members to try to figure out what that connection is. But there are rules, and the primary one is if you know, you got to keep your mouth shut. You got to be shoddy and keep it to yourself till the end of the episode. We'll give you a chance. Raise your hand loud and proud. We'll call on you. But don't ruin it for everybody else playing here and at home. John's going to be late to his own funeral, probably because I'll be working that day. I'm not the host today. Chris, you're the host today.
I am.
All right, but I am John Catrides, better known as Gen X Jono across my social media platforms. I invite you to follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And also, check me out when I'm out and about in the wild. This weekend coming up, I'll be in Orlando at the Central Florida Fair, hanging out with Blockbuster Video. Shell, what's up with you?
I'm Rochelle O'Black. People call me Shell, better known online as Gen X Shell. I'm on all the same channels that John is, and you could go follow me there as well. And I'm not going to be in Orlando, although I am supremely jealous. I would love to go.
And I'm Chris Clues, better known as Chris Clues, keynote speaker, author, focus on the life and work lessons that we can learn from 80s pop culture. Keynote speaking all over the country, maybe in a city near you at some point. And you can find my books on Amazon or anywhere you might publish or might buy books in your town.
And this is the ThreeView Mirror. All right, Chris, you are up.
All right. So, Kevin, you actually, one of the things that you said is a part of one of these topics, which is pretty crazy. And it's not Tom Petty. So I'm going to warn you right away that 2 of these 3 topics are incredibly broad. But the link is an 80s pop culture. It's iconic for 80s pop culture. It is iconic. When you
Beaches.
Think of pop culture. Not Beaches.
Bette Midler.
No.
Calvin Klein.
Neither of them are iconic. But so I'm just warning you, these are 2 of the 3 are really broad, but it will connect to an incredibly iconic 80s pop culture something. So the 3 topics are Bruce Willis, one-hit wonders from the 80s, and 80s fashion. I told you 2 of the 3 were really, really broad, but they will connect to something
Bruce
very,
Willis
very...
is kind of broad too. I mean...
I don't know. Somebody said I need a razor. I don't need a razor. Who said that?
I don't know. Someone said.
You know what's funny, Chris?
This is like 5 days, 6 days.
That's 6 days?
Yeah.
6 days? Ready for this? The video that I was working on that made me late?
How many of these songs do you know?
Whoop.
Oh,
Try it again.
all right.
80s one-hit wonders. How many of these songs do you know?
Really? You're working on that? That's so weird.
Literally the video that made me late. We do not know what we are each doing from week to week, but it is insane that happens. I was literally working on a video about 80s one-hit wonders.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we'll start off with Bruce Willis.
Nakatomi Plaza. Sorry.
Of course.
It's like Tourette's there with
John McClane.
John McClane.
John McClane. Before that, for me, I was a huge Moonlighting fan. I don't think Moonlighting gets the attention like that it would otherwise, because I think Die Hard totally overshadows his earlier stuff. But, you know, when he first came out as an action hero, a lot of people, myself included, was like, Bruce Willis is an action guy? Like, that doesn't make any sense. He's the sarcastic, funny guy on Moonlighting. And he proved me wrong. He was awesome.
Well, I actually did some research on this for one video a long time ago. Bruce Willis, they were so afraid of him coming out as an action hero for the movie for Die Hard that they, on the original cover, he's not on the original cover.
Right.
And the reason was because they thought he wouldn't be able to sell the movie. So he wasn't on the posters and the album, whatever, VHS.
Yeah, the album cover. Yeah, he was like the 10th pick as well. I think it was 10th. Like, they went through 9 other actors before they got to him, who either had scheduling conflicts or didn't work out or didn't want to do it or whatever. So they had gone through the list of action stars at that point, and then obviously everything works out for a reason. Because you think of Die Hard and you think of Bruce Willis, who had never been an action star, and now becomes the biggest one ever, one of the biggest ones ever. Mm-hmm. And you've got Hans Gruber. What was the actor's name? Slipped my mind now. Who had only done theater, and that was the first time.
Really?
He did a movie. Yeah, it was the first time he had done movies, and he was very nervous about it. Alan Rickman. Right?
Alan Rickman, yes.
And he was very nervous about it, and he really didn't want to. Hans Gruber. Yeah.
I got this as a Christmas present for one of my followers. It's an advent calendar for Christmas, and every day you just bring Hans a little closer, because it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off the Nakatomi Tower.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hans Gruber in that Alan Rickman, when he went to fall, they did like a 3-2-1, but then they released him on like 3, and that was why his fall face looks so freaking genuine.
Yeah.
Because they released him too soon.
Yeah, it's a fascinating movie. But Bruce Willis, I mean, for me, like, even some of the movies that went under the radar that I think are really good, like 16 Blocks that he did with Mos Def, you should definitely put it on your list. I think Mos Def is probably the best acting, like, rapper who went into acting. Like, he's done a few roles, but he's so good. But basically, Bruce Willis is a cop that's trying to get Mos Def, who is a witness, to a trial 16 blocks away without him getting killed. Really
the Raven says, I think Die Hard is really what made Bruce Willis famous, in my opinion. I definitely think it took him to the next level, without a doubt. I think it was a calculated risk. To Shell's point, he was taken off the original movie poster for fear that he would actually dissuade people from watching the movie. So definitely a calculated risk. But yeah, without a doubt, I think that took him to the next level. Well, that and his one-hit wonder, which, I mean, come on, the guy had singing chops too. He really could sing.
He could
What
sing.
was
He
his
was.
one-hit wonder?
It was. I can't remember the name of the song. There's somebody's going to know it in the crowd.
comments.
I keep thinking Heartburn, but that was Don Johnson's one-hit wonder.
His was like Heartbreak, right?
Heartburn, they gave me Heartburn, but the song was Heartbreak.
Yeah, Heartbreak.
What was the movie? Somebody just mentioned Pulp Fiction. Was Pulp Fiction the one where he was getting his feet dried in the cement? What movie was he getting his feet dried in the cement before they were going to throw him overboard on a ship? And someone in the comments is going to know that one too.
Was Bruce Willis was in Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
He was?
That wasn't the movie, right? That wasn't the one where he, like somebody in here is going to know where he was sitting on a boat and he had his feet and they were waiting for the cement to dry because they were going to do what do they call that when they throw you overboard with, feed the fishes.
Feed the fishes. I do not remember Bruce Willis being in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Yep. He was in Pulp Fiction. And somebody mentioned.
Oh, I loved him in Death Becomes Her. Actually, I was just starting that movie yesterday with Cleo. She asked if there was a good movie we could watch together. And I was trying to think, I'm like, I think this is okay. And I was just quickly screening it. But I love it because I think we talked about it last week or earlier, that's a great movie with both practical and CGI effects. They did a great job merging the two together.
Mm-hmm.
Also, somebody mentioned The Last Boy Scout, which I think is so underrated in terms of an action flick and really, really good one.
Oh, what the space movie?
Yeah.
I know it. Go ahead, say it. Armageddon.
Not gonna fall
asleep. Armageddon. Yeah.
I cried.
Fantastic.
I cried. I'm a dad of 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Armageddon crushed me when he's saying goodbye, and I'm thinking to myself, if I'm there with my future son-in-law or whatever, and I'm choosing between me going home with my daughter or some guy she could replace with the next boyfriend, I'm sorry, I'm not sure I'd have made the same decision unless I couldn't trust him to do the job, because then we all die.
I mean, he was
Fifth Element.
Oh,
yeah.
I love The Fifth Element. Love that movie.
There's one that went under the.
Jovovich. Do you say it that way, Chris? Mila Jovovich?
I don't even try.
Okay.
I just look at her. I don't try to pronounce her name.
And you know what? I got to say something about Bruce Willis, though. As far as Hollywood relationships go, I absolutely admire Demi Moore and his relationship. Them, their children, they divorced. She's still taking care of them. They still seem like best friends. Of course, we don't know anything about it, but their relationship is so sweet and kind to me, especially now that he's suffering from, I think it's dementia, right?
It's a degenerative mental disorder. I'm not sure exactly where it falls, but
I love their relationship.
From the outside looking in, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one that he did, again, that kind of went under the radar, that if you are somebody who enjoys it's a sad, but it's an inspirational film, and it's based on, things that happen. It's called Tears of the Sun. And it's by, he plays a special forces guy. They go into this country in Africa and they're trying to get some nuns and missionaries out. And they refuse to leave without the village that they're trying to take care of because the warlords are coming in and burning them to the ground. Which my dad was over there in the 90s in Africa and some countries where that was going on. So when he saw the movie, he said, you got to watch this, because they definitely had people who were there seeing this stuff. But the whole movie is him trying to he thought he was just going to go grab a missionary. Now they've got to try to figure out how to protect an entire village and get them across the border to the other country for safety. And it's called Tears of the Sun. Antoine Fuqua was the one who directed it, who, if you don't know that name, he's done a lot. But one that you probably saw he did is Training Day. And he's a fantastic director.
So people mentioned Sixth Sense. We talked about 90s psychological thrillers last week. That one is one that will go down in history as I can't believe I didn't catch that. We talk a lot about pop culture. And when things enter the general lexicon, they enter into like this mind speak that we all have, that we all talk about. I'm watching Paradise. I think it's on Hulu. It's good.
Yeah.
So I'm at the scene where the president's in a very stressful position. There's stress going on, and he takes his shoes and socks off, and he's like, I got to make little fists with my feet. And they make Die Hard references throughout. The protagonist gets his hands on some guns and says, now I have all the guns. Ho, ho, ho. And the woman's like, why is he talking like Santa Claus? And he goes, it's a Die Hard reference. I just love that he's to be in movies and to have a script that makes words come out of your mouth that people will spend the next 40 years emulating. I think it's got to be a special kind of cool. I hope someday I say something that I just can't imagine what that must feel like. That is, as he, when he was able to better understand things, watches movies and current things in today, television shows, and then sees his words come. It's got to be a cool thing, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned Unbreakable as well, which we forgot.
Yep.
I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, after seeing the list of the movies, going by 12 Monkeys, The Sixth Sense, The Armageddon, like, then you realize how many blockbusters. He really was a Hollywood blockbuster star. Like,
he's a star.
He was
He's
an absolute star. Yeah.
There's a lot of
You hate 12 Monkeys.
I love 12 Monkeys.
No, Kevin, you dude. Really? I mean, even if you're not sold on the script or the storyline, the watching Brad Pitt's transformation and that's worth the price of the movie alone.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's why we all have different points of view.
Yeah.
I mean, you said a star, and there's a lot of actors, there's a lot of actresses, there's a lot of great ones, but there's only a handful of stars.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a star. He was a superstar. And that's like, there just aren't a lot of them, and now there's even less because we're losing them, it seems like, every week. But, he was a star, and there's a difference. There's actors, actresses, and there's stars, and that's what he is.
Oh, he was a superstar. And, I cannot recall, like, too many, he wasn't a scandalous, like, he didn't make the headlines for scandals.
No.
And that's not typical of someone who is that big of a star.
And they're looking, especially in the era that he blew up. They had to be looking. Yeah, his relationship with his wife, the divorce and whatnot, and then she went off with a younger guy. But to your point, they even handled that with class.
Yeah.
They continued to go co-parent. Somebody mentioned Friends, which always comes up over and over again because, again, Friends is a huge pop culture show that brought in so many people. His role on there was hilarious, and he did a great job selling it. And even when he became the old guy, because he was the old guy on Friends, right? He was Ross's girlfriend's father. So he was kind of like, they did that with Tom Selleck, and then they did it with him, where old guys were still cool. And I thought that was cool. He was still cool. Tom Selleck was still cool. They were selling it as these old guys that still had it. And I think that's kind of neat.
Kind of like the
Planet Hollywood, somebody mentioned.
Kind of like me and John. The old
kind
guy.
of like you anyway. I'll give. But Planet Hollywood, I haven't thought about in a very long time. That was him, Sylvester Stallone, and somebody named the other third.
I've seen that one.
No, it's not a movie. It was kind of like Hard Rock Cafe, but it was a restaurant chain that the three of them put together.
Oh, they started it. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Planet Hollywood. I thought it was a movie. Okay.
So, quick story. I worked at Planet Hollywood. I did security at Planet Hollywood, and I did for Bruce Willis. And
you're the connection.
I'm the connection. And
you work for Bruce Willis. You wear shoulder pads from 80s fashion, and you sing one-hit wonders in the shower.
That's right. Well, I do that.
S'mores.
And he was the nicest guy. And he was really like, and this was 1996, 97. And he was at the top of his game and one of the biggest stars in the world. And he was a super, super chill, nice guy, said hello to everybody, got behind the bar, made people drinks because he was a bartender before he made it as an actor. So he got behind the bar and was slinging drinks and just like a guy. Just, you wouldn't even know. Like, if you didn't know, you didn't know. But he was one of those people when they came in, again, like we did security for a lot of people. But he was one that when he walked in, it just felt like this like massive ring of aura was around him. Like he just, it's hard to explain. Like it felt like the room changed, and he's not a big guy, but it felt like the room changed when he walked in, and just not a lot of people can do that.
Yeah.
Just by walking in, you know?
Yeah. A commanding presence.
Yeah.
Even somebody mentioned his Levi commercial. He did a Levi 501 jeans commercial. Now, all the Levi 501 jeans had a vibe. They were very cool commercials. Matt LeBlanc, Joey from Friends also did Levi's 501 jeans commercial back before Friends started. But it was just this vibe. And you've got, Bruce Willis kind of walking down the street, and he's got his 501 jeans on, and it was just cool. Somebody said rank, at the height of their career, people like Bruce Willis, Tom Cruise, Sylvester Stallone. Not that I can't. There's no need to. I don't think they were the same. They all had star power, but in different ways. Tom Cruise was not accessible. I couldn't imagine going up. I never would get the feeling from Tom Cruise that I could see him out in the wild, go up to him and talk to him and have him down to earth. He's just not accessible. Bruce Willis, on the other hand, gave the vibe that he totally was one of us. He just broke through.
Yeah. Yeah, Kristen, it was the Planet Hollywood in downtown Disney, or, it was actually before there was kind of a downtown Disney, there was Pleasure Island there with the bars and the clubs, and Planet Hollywood Orlando was right there at the entrance. So yes, it was several years there.
Look Who's Talking Too. So many movies he was in that I'd forgotten about.
Yeah. No, and people started mentioning him, and I was like, wait, did somebody ever answer where the one where he was going to swim with the fishes? I don't know if somebody answered that. The comments were just flying by, and I couldn't. Maybe it was Pulp Fiction. I don't know.
I don't remember him in it at all. Somebody said he was the boxer in Pulp Fiction. It's been way too long since I've seen Pulp Fiction. Way too long.
Yeah.
The Expendables, Linda mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He was. I think because when you say Bruce Willis, people say John McClane, Die Hard, Nakatomi Plaza, like you just immediately you go to that, but then you don't realize how the scope of his work. Color of Night we mentioned as a psychological thriller. Somebody mentioned, which actually is really good. Somebody mentioned that last week, and it actually
holds the distinction that if you pause it in the right place, you get to meet Little Bruce.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. No.
Yeah.
I think I remember that from back in the day.
It was a thing. I remember it and it was near the dawn of the internet where, these stories could spread quickly. And I'll ask them at Blockbuster when I go next week. I'm like, did that part of the tape? I always joke and say, you can always tell what part of a tape was paused, rewound, paused, rewound. I'm like, I'm convinced Phoebe Cates, that's always going to have tracking issues. Yeah, I'm sure Color of Night the same way. It's just funny.
Yep. All right. So we've done about 20 minutes actually on Bruce Willis. So we can probably keep going. Anything else on Bruce Willis?
Just wish him well. Prayers go out to him and his family. And it's just a shame. Yeah. There's nothing more important than our health. There's so many people that as I'm getting older, people that I would have traded places with in my youth, Matthew Perry, just people that I'm like, oh, wow, if only I could. And now you're like, damn, dude, all the money and all the fame in the world means nothing if you don't have your health.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's unfortunate that it happens to anybody, but especially somebody like him. So, yeah. Okay. Next topic, big broad topic here. One of my favorites, 80s one-hit wonders. Now, we had a lot of them. I feel like we were a lot in that decade, but one of the things is one-hit wonder decade for sure.
The first one that comes to my mind, and I cannot think of the title of it. It's the one that just that
was Baltimore.
What is it again?
That was
do it again. I almost got it.
The one with and they did it in a commercial too. I can't think of it.
Can you sing it?
No, that's it.
I don't know it. But I mean, Tommy Two Tones. Did he do? And it depends. So some people are like, it wasn't a one-hit wonder. They also did this, this, and this. Yes, I'm sure they did plenty. But when we say one-hit wonder, and I always get slammed when I make a video talking about, they're like, that wasn't a one-hit wonder. I love their other song. Fine. They did another song. It didn't reach anywhere near the heights of the one hit. It's not one song wonder. It's one hit wonder. Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy
Yeah.
was the name of it. Yeah. Hey Mickey, Tony Basil. That was a one-hit wonder. And
Yes.
she like it surprised the heck out of me when I figured out that she was like 80 some years old now, because she was like
She's
40
82
when
now.
she did that or something, you
Yeah.
know? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. How about
Relax, don't do it.
How about Rockwell? Somebody's watching me.
Huge one-hit wonder.
Amadeus. Amadeus.
Yep, Rock Me Amadeus. Come on, Eileen. Dexy's Midnight Runners. Talk to You Later by the Tubes. Bonnie Tyler had a couple of marginal successes, but nothing like. I guess Holding Out for a Hero did pretty well for her too. So there's a couple there.
Juice Newton. I love that song. What's the song? Juice Newton.
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts. Love that song. I played that one all the time when I was a kid.
I Melt With You, which holds the distinction of I cannot sing Melt With You without it sounding like I have a British accent. I always sing that song with an English accent.
How about
Whip It by Devo.
Autograph, Turn Up the Radio.
Poindexter's Hot, Hot, Hot.
Yes.
Turn
the
up
audience got this
the
one.
radio.
Whip It. I said that. Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Willis's, which we cannot remember.
Oh yeah, you spin me like a record. Yeah, I know the song. I'm trying to think, like, yeah. She's like the wind, Patrick Swayze.
Oh my God.
Respect Yourself. That's what Bruce Willis was. He did a cover of Respect Yourself.
Okay.
How about one of my favorites is the Icicle Works, Whisper to a Scream.
Huh?
Whisper to a Scream. If anybody knows that, it was a big hit, but it was like, I think it was like mid 80s, but the band was called Icicle Works, and I just thought it was like the coolest name. And then the song,
it was a big hit.
It wasn't a top 10 hit, but it was top 40.
Huh.
Yeah. Whisper to a Scream.
Never heard it.
Wait,
Party All the Time, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a bet that he said, I bet you I can. He made a bet with somebody that he could make a top 10 song or something. It featured Rick James on the vocals.
Flock of Seagulls.
Oh, yeah. Juice also did Angel of the Morning.
Oh. Yes, she did. Good song. Yeah. What about Flock of Seagulls?
Well, they had Iran was the big one, but then they also had Photograph, Pictures of You, which was also
okay.
But yeah, we're talking about one-hit wonders. Somebody mentioned Firewoman by the Cult earlier, and I'm a huge Cult fan. I think they're one of the greatest bands. For my money, they're one of the best bands of all time. They just don't get the credit for it. But you can also talk about how if they had one big hit, but they still happen to be an incredible band. Like some of these one-hit wonders, they literally had one song, Men Without Hats, the Safety Dance, and then that was it. Like there's no like collection of music after that. The Cult, for example, had a great Firewoman and She Sells Sanctuary, which were two big songs, but they had this massive collection of music. They just didn't get the play for whatever reason.
Aha, Take On Me, huge one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
What's that guy? You got what I need.
Oh, that's Biz Marquee.
You say he's just a friend.
But you say he's just a friend.
God, I hated that. Right Said Fred, I'm Too Sexy.
Yeah.
Rico Suave by Gerardo. Oh my God, I can't believe they wrote Rico Suave and I remembered his name was Gerardo.
Well, speaking of him, do you know that he was an actor before a rapper and he was in the movie Can't Buy Me Love, one of the main actors in Can't Buy Me Love?
Gerardo was?
Yep.
Did not know that.
And then acting wasn't working out and he did Rico Suave and probably still cashing the world checks to this day.
Oh, the Macarena. Forgot about.
So why the one-hit wonders? What is it that does not? I mean, why couldn't they have these like Aha, which was popular? People have gotten me on that and they're like, oh, just because they're not popular in the United States. Listen, we're in the United States. We make content in the United States. We have pop culture from the United States. Mm-hmm. When we say one-hit wonder, we mean the United States. I'm not going to have this argument. Aha was not majorly successful here. They had one hit. It was Take On Me. Why it didn't translate, I don't know. Why they couldn't do more. Nina, 99 Red Balloons. Her German version and her English version could count as two, I guess. But that was it. One and done.
Yeah.
Vanilla Ice could be argued too. Like he was one and done. I mean, like for the most part.
Yeah,
I was
you're
also
right.
thinking of Tracy Chapman. Didn't Tracy Chapman only really have one big hit?
And again, it's not an indictment on their talent.
Yeah.
I've said that before, and they're like, no, Tracy Chapman's amazing. Great. Not saying she's not. But Fast Car was about it for a huge hit. Even Sinead O'Connor, you can argue, never replicated the success of her one song. I mean, it was the Emperor's New Clothes and stuff came out after. It was marginally, critically acclaimed, but it was one song.
Well, Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians had What I Am.
Yes.
And that whole album is awesome. But for whatever reason, it was just What I Am was the only song that actually, like,
she got on my nerves something fierce watching her little hippie dance for the whole. She's like Phoebe Buffay before Phoebe Buffay. Just
somebody mentioned Faith No More, which is one of my favorites. And they had Epic, which was, if you remember on MTV, it was the video with the goldfish flopping out of the bowl. And that was a huge song for them. And they, again, great. They had great music afterwards as well. And that album's great, but they had one hit. And it's very strange how some of these bands that you think are like super talented, some of them broke up. It didn't work out. They did one album. That was it. But some of these bands, they just couldn't find it on the second, third, fourth album. And then they were just going to be.
Sometimes it's a song that's out of genre for them, but for whatever reason, that's the one that goes crazy. Extreme, with what was that one ballad Extreme sang that went nuts?
More than words.
More than words. And they hated that song. I mean, they didn't hate it, but Extreme was a hard edge rock band. And they're like, we finally break through, and people are like, more of this, more of this. Well, that's not what we do. So it's like they talk about it in like with what we do, Shell. People say all the time, the worst thing that can happen to you is going viral with a piece of work, a video, something you make that's not what you want to talk about.
Right.
Because you get all these followers that start following you and they're like, more of that, please. And you're like, I don't do that.
I don't. That was it. That was my one thing.
That was it.
Yeah.
Somebody said musical youth past the duchy.
I love on the left hand side. That was one of my favorite songs as a kid.
Mine too.
In Living Color, My Name is Luca, and then Electric Avenue.
Yeah.
Also very great. And it's funny because all these one-hit wonders were they were true. They were like they had that star power that like Bruce Willis has that we were talking about. These were huge one-hit wonders. Like you could still sing them today, as opposed to like some of the other, like take my favorite band, Metallica's or Guns N' Roses, tons of stuff in their catalog. A lot of it went popular, but maybe not that one song was so popular. You still sing it.
Jebediah says, I used to hate What I Am by Edie Brickell, but now I like it. I've read the lyrics recently, and I saw, the song, I couldn't agree more. I don't much care for her dance. It annoyed me then, but good song now. Crash Test Dummies. Yeah.
Fine Young Cannibals.
Blind
Melon
drives me crazy. I mean, that song was everywhere.
Yeah.
Da.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
I just used that in a video because that was also the Farfignugan song. That was the two guys driving the Volkswagen.
Yeah, that's right. I'll throw another one out there that, I mean, it's a band that I actually like. I think they're just surprised they didn't get bigger. And I think a lot of it is because we've talked about this. The pop culture wasn't manufactured in the 80s. A lot of it was organic. And I know you would think like, well, it'd be more organic today with the internet and streaming, like all these bands can put their stuff out there. It's true. But however it worked in the 80s was that there were these organic, I don't know, like people just started listening to a song and they liked it and they wanted to hear more of it. And then these bands and musicians maybe that didn't expect it to happen were like, what do we do now? But I'll give you one that I love, Indigo Girls, Closer to Fine. And that song, if you want to read some lyrics, read the Indigo Girls Closer to Fine lyrics. It's like reading American poetry from the 1800s. It's just incredible. And it's one of my favorite songs.
And some of I was trying to say Blind Melon. They really only had one song.
They had a few. They had a couple.
Yeah. Somebody else.
Somebody wrote Brown Eyed Girl. I will take I will disagree with that. Van Morrison had a number of different hits.
Into the Mystic.
Yeah, Wenjo, that would be Van Morrison. So, yeah, Brown Eyed Girl probably went over the top. It was a bar song. You heard it, but he had other hits for sure.
I feel like we're talking a lot too about the 80s one-hit wonders, but I did you narrow it to 80s or did
Yes.
you just...
I said 80s one-hit wonders because that's part of the topic, but I know they were there in the 70s and the 90s, of course.
Yes. Okay.
But the 80s had so many. I mean,
maybe it was the explosion of the late 70s, the boom boxes, the radio,
and MTV.
And
something could have a really so Aha might not have had their one-hit wonder if not for that groundbreaking video. Turning Japanese, video killed the radio killed the radio star. By the some of those one hits would not have happened. Somebody's Watching Me might not have happened without MTV. So there's part of that. I think MTV really did. A video might have come along that was just really good. Maybe it caught some traction on MTV, and that's what did it. I can tell you, Crash Test Dummies, probably that's what helped them too. That was a good video.
Yeah.
But I also think that the ability to be able to record in a studio or a song became more accessible. So you didn't have to be in LA or in New York to have your music discovered for the first time. Like you kind of had to be in certain places if your music was going to get out there. You know, if you were punk, you were going to be in DC or Southern California. If you were like metal, you had to be in LA. There were the bars in LA where all those bands came out of. If you were in New York, you know, you had a certain type of music, CBGBs, where all these like bands came from, Blondie and Billy Idol and all these other ones. So you almost kind of had to like be in certain places, but in the 80s you could really do it anywhere. LL Cool J, I mean, he's selling cassette tapes out of the trunk of his uncle's car.
Mm-hmm.
So you had that ability. I think that was part of it.
So Electric Avenue, somebody mentioned that, and then you mentioned it as well. I had no idea. So some of these one-hit wonders, I'm wondering, is like Relax, that one, Turning Japanese. I think it's the content that once people discover what the song is about, they're like, oh, that's kind of funny. So then it gets some play because of that as well. And I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that Electric Avenue was about getting high.
I didn't. Wait a minute. You just told me something I didn't even know, like today, like in today.
Yeah, he's going to rock down to Electric Avenue and see all the lights and the colors. He's taking a trip, and then it takes you higher.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, well, because I only learned about Turning Japanese like a year ago. Like I had no idea.
Kristen mentioned one of my favorites, which this is another band I'm shocked. Like, what happened? How did they not? How can you put out Mexican Radio, Wall of Voodoo, and then not do anything else? Like, what happened? Like, it's such a cool, different, quirky kind of song. I don't know. Mexican Radio by Wall of Voodoo. Buffalo
Never heard it.
One of my favorites, Nana Cherry.
No, I've never heard it.
I'm on a Mexican radio. You haven't heard that? Oh my God.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Eating barbecued iguana?
Relax, yes, Kiwi. Not by Duran Duran, though. Duran Duran had a number of hits. Relax was Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Nina Cherry.
Jane's Addiction. Yeah.
Nana Cherry is a good, that was a good pull by somebody. Buffalo State.
Yeah.
That's a great song. Oh, Lunatic Fringe, of course, Kevin mentions Red Rider. Yes, thank you for that one. Lunatic Fringe is great workout song, one hit wonder.
Bust a Move by Young MC. Absolutely, a lot of those rap songs caught fire. There wasn't much behind it, and boom, it went away. Agreed.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone, Golden Earring. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm stepping in. That's another one. Like, what happened? Well, they had Radar Love. Golden Earring had Radar Love.
That's true. So there's two.
That was a big hit, but
it
yes.
was.
But Twilight Zone, I mean, that's a classic.
Mm-hmm. I love, Chris, when you get these topics like this, where the comments are going by so fast you can hardly read them. And then I'm
trying. I'm bringing as many of them to the screen as I can, but all the more reason, if you're watching this in replay, join the discussion, be part of our live studio audience. We film every Monday at 7-ish p.m. Eastern time. Come along, sit in, and join us live.
All right, so we've done almost 20 minutes now on
Rich, Kevin, Salt and Pepper was not a one-hit wonder band.
Yeah, not at all, dude. All right. So we talked about Bruce Willis. We talked about one-hit wonders. And now we're going to talk about 80s fashion, which there's a lot of unfortunate fashion. Unfortunate fashion.
You say it, but I think every generation could look back at another generation and call it unfortunate fashion. Do you know what I'm saying?
And if they can't, then it was boring as hell.
Well,
I can't think of anything sadder than not being able to look back at in my 70s with my school pictures, and I've got the plaid pants with the checkered shirt and the big florals. I love that. I think it's great that we lived in interesting times. If every picture I had was a white polo shirt with jeans, I think it's boring.
Okay, unless they're Cavaricci's.
Yes. And when I think of 80s fashion, the thing that comes to me is, the sweater over the shoulders, the alligators and the polo players, the pegging of the jeans, the jelly shoes, the giant shoulder pads, the bright colors. There was a tiny phase in there in my early elementary years when neon colors were absolutely all the rage. Everything had that pastel-y look. There was a pastel era. There was a neon era. I mean, it was the tight jeans. John and I, by the way, in the audience here, if you've never seen John and I's tight jeans video, you really got to go to my page.
You could just Google it.
Yeah, just
Google Gen X shell and tight jeans, Gen X Jono tight jeans. It'll come up. The other side of it was also the punk, also the birth of goth, also the birth of preppy, and the 80s gets washed over with the broad brush that it was all neon and all that. It wasn't all anything. If you want to see how quickly 80s fashion changed, all you have to do is watch Madonna videos, because she was at the forefront of it, and she would go from one look to another look to another look instantly, from video to video, song to song. It was just an explosion of everything in the 80s. And yes, there were trends. The leg warmers was a trend. The shoulder pads were a trend, I guess, to make waists look smaller.
Parachute pants.
The and we were influenced like never before by MTV. Michael Jackson's jacket, the wearing the one glove. We were and the commercials even on MTV. They knew we were watching. So 501 jeans, button fly jeans are a horrible invention.
They are.
Horrible invention. How they talked us into that at an age when I was drinking. The 10 most formative drinking years of my life, when I had hit the bathroom constantly and I was wrestling drunk with button fly jeans. Are you kidding me? But they were cool.
They were even worse for the girls, though. I will say this for one reason, is that at least you guys had some room in there, because we didn't even have room to button all those.
Excuse me. I didn't have room in there. I filled all of it quite nicely. I don't know what you're trying to insinuate.
Good one.
Then you had the pastel sport coat with the t-shirt.
Yeah.
And if you go back and you watch some of the Friends seasons, they kind of brought that back a couple times. Oh my God.
Oh, I got stuff here too. I could probably go.
Shoes with no socks. Like you had the loafers with no socks.
I was big on that.
The Cavaricci jeans, and then the jeans all had the acid wash jeans, and the girls' jeans had a different like mechanics to the waistbands, where some of the waistbands had like a curl up thing that like it was like a popped collar, but it was for your jeans.
Yeah, wind was a much bigger problem in the 80s than anybody bargained for. Windbreakers and windsuits, pants, track pants. How about corduroy? Corduroy was 70s, early 80s, but I remember wearing so much corduroy.
Well, you could hear somebody coming from a mile away.
Oh, and dude, friction burns on your thighs. What other materials? Terry cloth. I remember girls in like terry cloth rompers.
Then there was the shirts with the holes in them. Not the mesh. The boys had the cut off mesh football shirts that went to here, and the girls had mesh shirts with tank tops underneath of them. And then
I had a mesh half shirt. I had no business wearing a mesh half shirt. I weighed 30 pounds soaking wet. You could count my ribs when I wore that shirt.
Members only, yeah, members only jackets. That's what the jelly bracelets, charm necklaces. Like,
Did Scott really say members only jackets? Like I'm not wearing it?
we can't see you.
Oh, how about somebody said Bermuda shorts? I remember jams.
Oh, jams.
I had every like color jams. And then I don't know where my Swatch watch is. The fashion even went on to like accessories and jewelry, and Swatch watches were huge.
They were huge.
Yeah.
I've got one now. I got to get a Swatch card for it.
Yeah.
Jams were great. Everybody could see you coming from a mile away with those too.
Yeah.
But it allowed us to individualize our style, but it also taught us lessons. Like I couldn't get everything I wanted. I remember CB jackets becoming a really big deal. And if you don't know what they were very expensive ski jackets in the winter. And they came in bright colors, and they were like $150, $200 back then. And I remember just begging my mom. I wanted one so badly. And she came home from Jamesway, I swear to God, with a BC jacket.
Oh my God.
If you want to learn how to deal with adversity, be a kid going to school, getting on the ski club bus with a BC jacket. I did it once and only once. After that, it went back to the Levi jacket with the hoodie coming out. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm done. You're just, no, I'm done. This is the one time my mom's close enough rule was just not going to stand.
We were so into labels back then, like that. I mostly reject labels now for the most part. But we were so into labels that like it was today you can buy something off label or a knockoff and nobody really cares as much. But back then, like if it was everything. Like a horse without the polo player.
Yeah.
Like
Kids today do Temu hauls. They do the cheap stuff, and it's almost a flex. Yeah. But they still have but it's the other side too. They'll still pay way too much for Lululemon. Yeah. So it's both sides of it. And we had both sides of it too. But if you were going to go off brand, you had to do it like it's intentional. It's not that I don't want to wear that. It's I'm too cool to wear the cool stuff. I was not too cool to wear the cool stuff. I couldn't get away with that either. The Bobos instead of the expensive, and we got heckled. We got made fun of.
Yeah.
Now there are some pieces of fashion that are still with us that exploded in the 80s, like Vans. I mean, Vans started in 1966.
Yeah.
But they really hit in the 80s, mainly because of Jess McCauley wearing the checkerboard Vans and Fast Times in 1982. And that's one piece of fashion that comes out of the 80s that's still cool. Mm-hmm. Chucks are still a thing, even though they were well before the 80s. Chucks became really popular in the 80s.
They came back in the 80s. They were really big in this. And that's just it. Shell could probably speak to this more than us, but there's a resurgence of fashion. It's cyclical, I guess. And, these things will go away and then come back. And every generation kind of makes the mistake of claiming it as if it's their own, not realizing, no, this has been here before. But my wife tells me there's always just, you can't hold on to that thing in your closet hoping it comes back because it always changes just enough. No. That if you wear the old version, you look like a poser. It's like, nah.
I was also going to say, too, like we were talking about the eras of clothing, like you have 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and you could definitely tell when something came from a particular era. But I feel like after 1999, 2000, like that's it. Fashion has not significantly, like I couldn't look back on the 2000s. There's a few pieces that I could look back on and say those were, layered tank tops kind of thing might have been a thing, but I can't think of a whole look for the 2000s or the 2010s and the 2020s.
Well, in their defense, and I agree with you, but I will defend them for a change. And I will say that there's only so much you can do with clothing. At some point, after years and decades of people doing different types of clothing, maybe they could mix and match things together that would look different. I know for a time kids were like, they'd wear one sock up and one sock down. I'm like, this is weird, but I guess you could wear them both really high like we did in the 80s, or you could go like super short, and they decided to do one and the other. So there are some things like that I think with clothing, like they're going to, what you see honestly a lot more of are individual t-shirts, like the ones that I have, because there's all these t-shirt designs out there. I mean, John has a store full of them. Anybody can make a t-shirt now. And that's kind of like, that's cool that they have that. Like we had to go to the store that I had to go to the surf shop if I wanted the Vans t-shirt. Now they can get t-shirts anywhere and anyone they want.
I love the fish out of water trope going back into the 80s. That's not really possible today. When you had Michael J. Fox in the Back to the Future movies, when he went back to the 50s, he had to get changed quickly because it was so obvious he was a man out of time. His clothing could not, 20-year gap, 30-year gap, everything changed. When he showed up in the future from 1980 to 2015, again, man out of time. People looked at him, what are you wearing? Are you a Navy? What is that? He looked out of place. It's been 10 years it's been 40 years since the original Back to the Future movie. And if I wore what he wore, Nikes, jeans, a t-shirt, it hasn't changed. That
much.
Poodle skirts, fashion changed so drastically from decade to decade. And I agree, Shell. I don't know why. I don't know why that went away. And it's not just lack of options. I think it's lack of imagination.
Well, they've got a few that they're going to regret. Okay. Skinny jeans being one. There are going to be a lot of people who regret.
Those were around in the 50s and 60s, big.
Yeah, but they were really skinny there. And people who should not have been wearing skinny jeans were wearing them. So there was like the skinny jean thing. And I also think somebody mentioned, it reminded me in the comments here, they were talking about the Umbro shorts.
Yeah. With the boxers hanging out.
Then also you've got like the tap out stuff. I mean, that stuff was.
But it's not just what we wore; it's how we wore it. Like it was the popped collar. It was just we changed something. It was wearing our Umbro shorts, but wearing boxers that would pop underneath the bottom of it, so that it was. So it was some of it was options. Other of it was just imagination. It was somebody thought to do something a little differently, and it spread somehow.
I think the rise of fast fashion in like 2000 is what caused the death of actual looks for a decade. Is fast fashion made it so that clothes were cheap. You didn't have to go to, it's whatever Kmart carried. Were you a Kmart kid or were you like a Macy's kid? What were you? And that's what you wore, and they had themes to it in a way like that fit that decade. And I think fast fashion and quick accessibility ruined a lot of that.
And thought process, like girls took their dad's jackets, their sport coats, they rolled up the sleeve, they wore it a little different, they had it baggy. It was taking a twist on something that was already out there. That's what I'm not seeing as much now.
Going to Goodwill and shopping at Goodwill and then putting together like an outfit, like a thing. I do want to mention too, the
kids are doing it now, but they're doing it to look like we looked. TikTok is full of, I'm going to do the 80s. I'm going to do the 90s. Well, why not do something today? I don't know.
We didn't even mention like the Panama Jack hats.
Somebody mentioned it. I flashed it up. Yeah.
In the back. Oh God. And the Ferrari sunglasses that had like this little side things on the side that like these little like leather pocket things that went on the side of your eyes. The Varnays. Did somebody mention Varnays?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what Varnay is? VUARNET. Yeah, they were like sunglasses and they had teeth. Varnay.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I think this stuff today is like more subtle. Like you notice the change from having the book backpack over your shoulder to then having both straps. Like that was a change. Like for a long time, kids were carrying, and we did it like in college. You carry the backpack like this.
But nothing in high school. In high school, you just carried 17,000 books off to the side. Girls were allowed to keep them in front. Guys were not allowed to keep them in front. We had to have them over to the side.
Yeah.
And then in college, you're right. It was the Jansen backpack over one shoulder.
Now they wear them over both. So there's these like subtle things that change.
We took our flannel shirts and wore them as an accessory in the 90s, where it wasn't even wearing it. It was just wearing it around our waist. So we just did things differently. That's what I'm not seeing. It's taking something that's normal and wearing it differently. It'd be like kids today, if they wanted to, there's still options. They can wear their boxers outside their jeans if they want to. I know you say silly, but there was a period in the early 2000s where girls were wearing dresses with jeans underneath them. You look at it now, it's like that looks so stupid.
Wait, that was just a Hollywood thing because that was never a thing. I will argue that was just like a topic that didn't really.
But my point is, it can happen.
Yeah,
they're just not doing it.
No,
yeah, I'll give you a fashion one that happened, and John hates these, and I actually hate them too. I just like to give him a hard time by wearing it. But the flat brim hats,
yeah, that's one.
Horrible.
Yeah, but I like the fact that they changed the look without a doubt.
They changed.
Yeah, I love that.
It's 12.
I don't like the way it looks, but I love the fact that they did it.
For
wearing them with the hologram label and leaving it on there. I think it looks stupid, but I give them credit. I'm like, good, some imagination. I like that they're doing it.
How about starter jackets? You guys remember
starter jackets? I couldn't ever. Zubaz starter. That was all football wear. Yeah.
Shell,
did you ever wear hooker boots?
What's that?
I lost it. Somebody asked if you wore hooker boots. I don't know what that is.
Well, I would have worn just about anything back in the day. I had like knee-high boots before they were like a thing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm trying to think of what I know the name hooker boots, and I can't think of what they are at the moment. And I know they don't have anything to do with hooker, but there was a thing. It was called hooker. I have to look it up. Hooker boots.
How about rat tails?
Rat tails, yeah. Mullets, rat tails, she mullets. I remember mullets where the guys would just perm the back.
Oh,
so
God,
it would be normal in the front, but permed and curly in the back.
Oh, horrible. And then like the cut where you let it come over one eye.
Oh, I could see you with that. You were just alternative enough. I can see that.
I did have that for a little while.
In the 90s, I always wanted like the one where it was split down the middle and just perfectly came over. But my hair was way too, I could never do that. My hair never did any of that cool stuff. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay, so yeah, hooker boots. Yeah, totally wore those. Still wear them. So just saying. But no, only with like a little skirt, still would.
So we are way over, which is an indication of awesome topics.
So we had Bruce Willis, we had one-hit wonders from the 80s, and we had 80s fashion. Now, I told you these two topics were broad, but all three of these topics connect to one of the most iconic 80s pop culture things. If you were to list the top 10 most influential things in pop culture, this is in the top 10.
All right. Well, we'll take it to the studio audience. I've got thoughts. You just kind of blew it out of the water because I don't know if it's that big.
Mm-hmm. I have thoughts.
The thought that I have is maybe that big. Have we talked about it? Has it come up in our conversation?
We've talked about it in conversation, but it hasn't.
No, I mean today. Has it come up today?
Yes, we've worked around it. It hasn't come up officially.
But then that's not what I thought.
Then it's not what I thought either. Then I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out.
So we know that Bruce Willis had a one-hit wonder, so that's confusing in and of itself. We know that he was in a Levi's 501 jeans commercial, which was 80s fashion, so that confuses things for me too. Mm-hmm. It's like it makes it very tough for me. Kevin says it's Miami Vice.
Kevin is right.
That wouldn't surprise me because I know you love that show.
Kevin is
Frylock
right.
said it as well. I was not a huge Miami Vice guy.
Kevin's right. It's Miami Vice.
Okay. People did say that he was on a Miami Vice episode.
Yeah, Kevin's right. It's Miami Vice. Yeah. So Bruce Willis was on season 1, episode 7 as an arms dealer of Miami Vice. Now, the reason I brought up one-hit wonders was because of 3 things. Number 1, Don Johnson. One-hit wonder. Number 2, Jan Hammer, the Miami Vice theme, one-hit wonder. And the list of one-hit wonders songs that were in Miami Vice episodes. The Tube, She's a Beauty. The Power Station, Bang a Gong. John Parr, Naughty Naughty. Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me. Honeymoon Suite, New Girl Now. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax. Red Rider, Lunatic Fringe. Icicle Works, Whisper to a Scream. Autograph, Turn Up the Radio, Blow Monkeys, Dig In Your Scene. I mean, there was so much music in Miami Vice, but you had like 10 to 12 literal one-hit wonders. And then 80s fashion. I mean, come on. The whole pastel coat with the no socks and the loafers.
I don't think I ever saw anyone emulating that in the real world. Maybe that was an LA thing. Maybe it was a Florida thing because you're Miami. It certainly didn't happen in upstate New York.
It happened in Baltimore. And the stubble was like a thing. Like Linda was giving me a hard time about not shaving. I'm like, this was a little clue because, you know, they had this stubble.
Don Johnson came out with a razor that didn't shave closely, like it was set so that you would shave and it would give you that stubble look.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. So the other reason I brought this up, number one, is because I do think that when you talk about the 80s, Miami Vice it's a cultural icon. And it really is. It's really quintessential to the 80s decade. I mean, there's a lot of pop culture. There's some that was a year here or a month there. A couple. But
how long was it on the air? Was it on the air for a while?
I think it's 5 or 6 seasons. But also because Michael Mann is around a project where they are going to do a Miami Vice movie based in the 80s. And it's going to be Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler playing the two main characters, Crockett and Tubbs, which I think is going to be pretty good. As long as Michael Mann, who created Miami Vice, is around anything to do with something that has to do with a sequel, remake, whatever you want to call it, I'll give it a shot. I hate remakes, but I will give this a shot if the original creator is around it.
My guess was going to be Levi's because of the Levi commercial with Bruce and Levi's for that. And then I figured there had to be like a one-hit wonder that I couldn't think of by a guy named Levi. You know what I mean? That I was missing or something. I was
going to say Levi's.
Yeah. So I think it was just, I think the influence it had on pop culture still today. And if you go back and you watch the very first episode, the things that they were doing were not happening on television at the time. The opening is just like you're at the wheel of the car. The wheel of the car is like the camera's on it. You can't see the guys, but the song is playing. I think I don't know if it's In the Air Tonight. I can't remember the exact song that's playing. And then they kind of pan up and it's just that they don't say a word for the first 5 minutes of the show.
In the Air Tonight has the distinction of playing in its entirety. And I guess it was either the first time that's ever happened or the only time that on network television they play a song beginning to end without interruption and without anyone talking over it. So that was In the Air Tonight. And I just remember like they talked about it on Entertainment Tonight and it was like a big deal. And there's the drum. It was a moment.
And they're just like laid back. Yeah. And that was a time. And Miami, like that was a crazy time. And I think that everybody just thought that all of Florida was like Miami because that's all anybody knew was Miami Vice. They're like, oh, that must be all Florida. It's not. But at the time, Miami was just this crazy city.
I wonder what was on the same day as Miami Vice. I don't think I've ever watched an episode. It was on. I know it was on, and I would flip through it. But there had to be, for me not to have watched Miami Vice says a lot. Because I watched A-Team. I watched a lot of cop shows. There had to be something opposite. And that's the weird thing. So we talk about you missed it. That was the way we grew up. You had to make choices. Mm-hmm. And if it was Miami Vice versus Dukes of Hazzard was going to win. And the networks played games with us and did that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. They tried to knock out the hit on the other station. Mm-hmm. So I remember wanting to watch it. I remember during rerun season, I would catch a few episodes maybe that way. But I'm betting you money if I can find what day it was on, something against it would have been just that much better for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, it's just one of those shows that even now you can literally watch it and it's still good. It's still a good show. And, you know, me with the music, there was never a television show that had a better soundtrack. I mean, it's not even close. You can't. There's nothing to compare it to. There was a Spotify list. If you want to see how many songs were on Miami Vice, there's a Spotify list that you can get. It's Miami Vice season 1 through 5, and it's all the songs that were on Miami Vice, and it's wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not realize that. I mean, I know that he had that one hit wonder and stuff. My never mind. Brain went.
I solved my mystery. So what? Dallas was opposite. Cindy says it. So that Dallas. So it wasn't even my decision. Miami Vice aired on Friday nights, and it was opposite Dallas. And there was no way in hell my mom specifically was going to let me get away with her not watching Dallas. So that was it. That would do it. If something was opposite, Eric said the same thing. Our parents had final veto authority over what we were going to watch on television. Yep. That's just the way it was.
Someone said Moonlighting was Miami Vice's main competition?
Maybe. I mean, it was on from 84 to like 91, or I saw. So it's possible that they hit at some point, but Dallas would have been the big one based on what I saw, and then boom, everybody nailed it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's something we forget. It's not like I can go to my room and watch TV.
Yeah.
There was no TV there.
No.
Later, maybe a black and white Emerson.
Yeah.
But I probably still wouldn't. My parents would have been like, "Where are you going? You just got home. You were out. You're this. You're that. Sit down. This is family time." It was different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I almost went with the buddy cop route because there were movies and TV like Tango and Cash and Lethal Weapon and Cagney and Lacey and.
I'll hit that one eventually. I love that.
Like, what's that?
I'll do that one next time probably. Okay. I'll tell you. I'll find a way around it. Yeah. I love that, and I loved the trope that one was always brunette and one was always light-haired. Whether it was men or women, they always did it. There was a John and a Ponch. There was a Starsky and a Hutch. There was a Simon and a Simon. They never were
Simon.
Yeah, I mean, they always had the even on Emergency, even on Adam 12, Hawaii. Always one guy was light haired, one guy was dark haired. Wow. The women on the 80s did the same thing. Too Close for Comfort. One daughter had dark, one was blonde. Joyce DeWitt, Christy, Suzanne Summers. It was a huge thing.
Just blew
over and over and over and over again.
Never really thought about that, but listen, that Chris, your connection was amazing, but that comment right there, I never thought about that, and now I'm not going to be able to unsee it. Like all these songs through my head now, that I'm going to be singing in my head. Now I'm not going to be able to unsee that and look for that everywhere.
I just can't believe they sold us on Simon and Simon.
Luke.
How they sold us on Simon and Simon being badasses. I still haven't figured that one out.
John, have you made a video on that?
They look like they just came out of course.
I made a video on duos once just naming them. I didn't really make the connection over the fact that, I'm sorry, if you got the job and you were brunette, it killed it for every other brunette that wanted to get on that show, because now we got to pick a blonde.
Huh.
It was always that way.
Simon and Simon, by the way, Chris.
Laverne and Shirley. It goes back. It was always that way. Huh. Fred and Barney.
Yeah.
Oh, Rockford Files, somebody said. And the Rockford Files is actually being rebooted.
Yeah.
The guy.
And I'm cautiously optimistic because I think the casting works.
I think he's good. The guy from Bones.
Yep.
He's really good, yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel.
Yeah, that's right. He was those two, yeah. Anyway.
Riptide was the same way. Dude, you can go all night.
If there's two characters. You will save the topic. Save the topic. Save the topic for another time when you're going to do it.
All right.
Punch and John.
Yeah, so, all right, dude, great. I mean, listen, we're over hours. We've had no less than 70, 80 people in the room solid the entire hour. I would love to see that number jump to 300. Yeah. I would love, I'm going to beg, I'm going to ask every one of you, go get a friend, talk about the show, find someone, bring them on. I try so hard to keep up with comments. I want to not be able to. It's awesome putting names up on that screen. Bring a friend next week. Shell's got the topics. It's going to be good ones. She's going to shell it. She's going to kill it.
I'm going to start thinking now so I can get some ready for next week.
Batman and Robin, Kate and Allie. Dude, you can go all day long.
Awesome. Hey, Chris, thank you for the topics. Those were some of the broadest. I had a lot of fun talking about these topics, even though I didn't get the connection and I wasn't a Miami Vice fan. Never would have got that. The topics, it's the journey and not necessarily the destination. Your destination was great, but this journey has been wonderful. And thanks.
I love that, sweet PP. Awesome. Two people here from Batesville. I love it. So, what's going on this week? I will be heading to Orlando on Thursday. I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Central Florida Fair. If you guys are going to the fair, stop by the Blockbuster video booth. They've created an entire Blockbuster video. Stop in and see hi. I'm going to be doing interviews. I'm going to be putting people online. I'm going to be asking questions, reliving what it was like to be in a Blockbuster, to work in a Blockbuster, to grab movies in a Blockbuster. If the fair is open and it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I will be there. Stop out and see me.
Hey, can I just point out blonde and brunette? I don't know if you two, like, I
Yeah.
see both opposite, blonde and brunette.
Well, even in like Charlie's Angels,
Yeah.
they had to make sure there was the blonde and the brunette, and then Kate Jackson too. But it was always Jacqueline Smith and Farrah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Somebody said I'm as fine as frog's fur. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult.
Fine.
What
as
is
frog.
Frog's fur?
All righty then.
No, I had a great time tonight too. And
Are you going to be in town next week?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in town next week. The following week, I'm not.
So are you coming to Orlando?
I don't know if I'm make it to Orlando.
Dude, it's not that far.
I'll tell you afterwards why.
Okay. All right, guys.
But
Sending
yeah,
out lots of love.
I'll be in Greenville, South Carolina in middle of March, and I'll be in Houston, Texas at the end of March.
All right. Peace.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Stay
Stay
rad.
rad, everybody.
Yeah.
It's always got to be out there. And then I don't have the outro ready.
Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do.